And we return. And I need to rearrange people because Evie got hailed out of existence.
I did.
All right. So, yeah. One of the really interesting things about this game is that, like, it is one where the GM kind of, like, puts a plot hook in. I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry. It is one where the GM kind of, like, puts a plot hook in front of you, and you can be like, yeah, if you want to, and we can go looking for another. But I do try and make them as linked into your stuff as possible. So I should have been using the break to look one up.
Instead, we were talking about Scotland and muesli bars.
Yeah. No. But luckily, if someone wants to roll me a D18, I have a handy table here of potential opportunities for the stud answer specifically. So.
Cool.
Oh, I typed that wrong. Good job, Cherry.
It's hard when you only got little tiny tentacles.
Right? That's my excuse.
All right, cool. Oh, this wow. All right, cool. I know who this is.
Sorry.
This chuckle makes me so concerned when Ash does that, like, kind of low chuckle that makes you go, oh, okay, we're all gonna die horribly now. Fun.
Hey, Ren.
Yes.
You know how you had that conversation with Chonzak?
I mean, I'm not entirely
You don't remember a lot of it?
clear on it. Like, yeah.
I think the next day you're like recovering in the like in the Rhapsody, and you just hear like the metallic dunk 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 of someone like knocking on the hull, out, being like, "Can I?" And you hear Chonzak be like, "Yo, Ren, we moving or not? I gotta. This is time sensitive."
Okay, I like stumble to the hatch, the like I want to say drawbridge, but I know that's wrong.
We can call it a drawbridge.
Stumble over to the ship's drawbridge and and like press the button to pull that down. I'm like, why are you shouting?
He's like, you're supposed to pick me up like an hour ago.
I saw you yesterday. I mean, we don't see each other all the time.
He's like, you said you were going to get me to. You said you were going to get me to Nightfall. I need to get off this planet. Those guys are looking for us.
For when you say us, you mean?
Well, I was telling the story about what about my last job, and you were telling the story about your one, and I don't know. They seemed pretty interested in both, but like they were totally following me like all of last night. And I sent you a text message, and you like look at your text message, and it's like, "Can you smoogle me, winky face, to Nightfall, $?
Right. Yeah.
You said that you're like on this, like you had this like transport, and then, like it's a weird looking, but like as long as it gets me out of here. It's like,
I have like a sudden, like I look at this text message and a sudden flashback to the night before. So we flash like back in to the two of them, like sipping cognac and talking about old times. Who are these other people that are around them in this flashback?
Yeah, there's two dudes just join your conversation, right? Like, sit down, like, because there's like the armchairs are set around like a little coffee table, and
Sure.
And yeah, these two dudes in suits come and like sit down and like join in the conversation, and like despite being like very like tightly dressed, like they loosen their ties and like really emphatically join in the conversation. And I think you remember them engaging way more with Chonzak than you, right? Because you have this moment of being like, Chonzak's story isn't even as interesting as mine.
Oh no. Yep.
And so and that's the point at which you start big upping the details about your own story to try and compete. And they're like, yeah. Chonzak, I hear you. That sounds like a very dangerous story, you know. It's like, Yeah.
Cool.
They were, yeah, they're definitely humans. With like, they both definitely have their like, like a mark to show that they have an implant in their chin, just like off to the side. It kind of looks a bit like a beauty spot, except like has like a weird shaped lump underneath it.
Okay.
And they were both also like clearly had like sidearms in their suits because their suits were like so tight that you could not see that.
Okay.
Like they're not like yeah, the suits that they were wearing were, yeah, like very finely fitted, like not office worker, definitely like going to a fancy party.
Cool. Okay. So we snap back into the ship, and Ren like tucks her phone back in the pocket and leans out of the side of the ship and sort of grabs Chonzek by the shoulder and is like, well, I think the perfect way for you to handle it is to stand outside our ship shouting about it, and then like yanks him in and like hits the button to close the thing.
Yeah. And he's like, listen, I don't know if the person that I don't know much about the last job I did, but like everyone's been asking about it and they all seem really interested, but now there's people following me and I don't think it's good.
All right, well, I suppose that we better deal with it. And I hit a button on the side that's like opens the ship-wide comm channel. Everyone to the kitchen, if you would, if you're free. There's a semi-urgent situation that we should chat about. 2 minutes. And she like turns off the thing and like grabs him and
you have a kitchen?
You...
This is gonna be great.
Yeah. Oh gosh. So we do have a kitchen, right? We have a galley kitchen in here.
I think so, yeah.
We have everything on the ship.
Yeah.
It's so big. We may even have a kitchen, we just don't know it.
Wow.
Let me have a look. You have got. Oh wait, that's Ren. Where's Rhapsody?
There's a TARDIS portal somewhere.
You do have a galley though, so yeah, you do have a kitchen of sorts. It's just not,
cool.
Like, enough space for like. It's not enough for the like sit down meals yet, but you could make it that if you wanted later, with the upgrade.
Sure, but we can gather there.
Mm-hmm.
It's like on airplanes where they get the meals ready. It's like that. We can cram in and like stand there over the coffee machine.
Yep. Yeah, it's like it's 100% like the like kitchen in an office, right? It's like like 3 or 4 meters, or like cube, square, whatever.
So we cut to Ren flipping on the coffee machine and like just waiting for the others to arrive.
Yeah, and Chonzek like hoisting himself up and sitting on one of the benches so that there's space. Yeah, and being like, oh fuck, that's a cooktop.
And walks inside and opens the mini fridge, and just there's a jar of what looks like jelly, and puts it down and just.
Oh yeah, I forgot that's how Thane eats.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Cool.
So good.
I think Tin Can's Urbot like floats into the room and kind of looks at you with empty robot skull eyes, and is like a little transponder in the bottom is like, I'm busy, what's up?
Does this thing have a name? Have you named the bot?
No.
No name.
I mean, it's kind of just an extension of you, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Orovj is not in their suit, just kind of flutters into the room and perches on the corner of the counter.
That's convenient for space.
Yeah. That's
They're
beautiful.
being polite.
I love the fact that the like weird robo skull is bigger than Orovj.
Yum, yum, yum.
He could do, but isn't going to.
I think Orovj is like constantly dancing around because you never know if someone's gonna like lean back and put their hand.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
Ren looks at the skull, like into the eyes where presumably the camera is, and says, saves on space anyway, and starts to pour coffee into a couple of mugs for herself and for Chonzek. Everyone, this is Chonzek,
Hi, I'm a
former-
bounty hunter. And fugitive. Now, I think.
and possibly so are we all. Well, why don't you just tell the class about what happened?
Yeah. And he's like, look, wait, I need to find the right.
Yeah,
so
find
he's like,
the right voice.
no, I need to find the like work out who he killed. Like why, like, because I think that's going to be important.
Probably.
He's like, so I got
I
this
didn't
job
know
right.
we were a murderer.
It's like, I got this job right, and it was like a DOA, and I was like, holy shit, someone's put out like a hit for like one of the Shen knives, and I was like, what? They're the assassins. Who's gonna assassinate the assassin? And I was like, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get them. I'm gonna pretend to be their friend, because like I'm an assassin, and then I'm gonna like befriend them, and then I'll totally betray them. And it worked, and I managed, and like I got the contract done. But then now, when we were like having drinks last night, these guys were talking to us, and they were like really interested in this job that I did. Now I think I saw them following me, and like I've got some contacts on Nightfall, and I rang and I sent a message through them, and they said that they can hide me for a while, but I have no idea how I'm going to get to Nightfall without these guys seeing me. And so now I'm in here, and I'm hoping that they're not going to. Anyway, I have a lot of money from that job, so I was like, help a friend out. I can give you some money.
But if we're your friends, are you going to betray us and kill us?
It's like, well, no, because like
MO.
there's not like a job for you. Is there a job for you?
No, absolutely not.
Okay, I'm just checking, like, because it's good to keep yourself informed.
Also, you're a bounty hunter, not an assassin. What made you think
They're
that
the same thing. Just one of them's a fancy name.
Just so we're clear, which one is the fancy name?
Assassins is like, isn't that they're like a cult of bounty hunters, basically.
Aiden takes the rest of the jelly and just goes.
Oh man, that's gross.
Ren,
How
like,
much are you paying?
Sorry, I missed that.
How much are you paying?
Let me check. I think it's like, I've got like I think he's got, where am I? Jobs. I think he's got 4. I think he offers 4 cred, by default, which is not heaps, but that's what he starts with.
That's enough to put gas in the ship and to get Rin, what, 2 bottles of, what do you drink? It's not jelly. Whatever's not jelly.
And he's like, yeah, he's like, yeah, but like, I can't give you everything. I gotta like pay my friends on Nightfall, and like,
4 cred would
Worry
get you a
about
taxi.
When you get to Nightfall, if you can get to Nightfall. You know what I'm saying?
Sounds like there's a role happening here.
Yeah, I think at this point, Orav flutters up and lands on his shoulder,
no.
just like really quietly, just a little bit of pressure.
I just love the like you're adding intimidating look from Octopus Butterfly. This is amazing.
Octopus hummingbird, thank you.
Sorry.
Yes.
Thane.
Does that mean the wibbly bits on a cuttlefish are like going really fast?
Yeah, basic. Like, yeah, that's what I'm.
They kind of get left behind, and they kind of like, it's just what happens in the wind. Like, you can't control these things.
Yeah. What do you? So yeah, like he's offering 4. Do you want to make an action roll to like see if you can get him to pay more?
Yeah, I want to get it to 6.
Seems reasonable. Seems like that's definitely a possibility. What action are you using to do that?
I think sway.
Sounds like sway. Sounds like you're talking sense. I could see command also, but sway sounds like more like what you're doing. Cool. I think that is controlled. And if it's 6 cred you're aiming for, I think that's standard.
Okay. I am going to push myself for a bonus die.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it.
Cool.
Nice.
Okay. So on a 5, I need. Where am I? Yeah. Okay. You get it. So yeah, he's like, he's like, 3 now, 3 at the end of the mission.
I look
That's
on
a
my
mission
shoulder,
now.
And he's
and
like,
I look over to the robot, and I look over to Rin, all just like, yeah.
I and like, if I get hurt, I'm taking. There will be. I'll have to pay. My medical bills come out of the cred.
It's okay. I'm a doctor.
Also, that's entirely unreasonable. You should
You're
really
a
be capable
robot.
of looking after yourself.
He's like, yeah, he's totally like, I don't know about hovering robo skull doing doctoring on me, but okay.
I think that you should probably take what you can get and don't be a jerk about it.
He's like, whoa, look, I only came to you because we're pals. If you don't want the work, that's fine. I don't know, pay for a new face or something.
I can do new faces.
Again, not super keen on the robot skull doing surgery.
I'm sure it won't come to that. It's just a short trip over to Nightfall after all. So we're all, and Ren kind of does like eyebrow raising like Thane was doing around to like the whole group, like everybody in nods.
We'll take it. Let's just hope the ship likes you.
The chip likes what?
Yep. Bye.
That is a
That's-
Awesome, cool. So if you have a look at our map of the Procyon sector, Nightfall is in the Breck system, so you will have to use a jump gate to jump systems. Just needed to mention that because that can require some paperwork.
Okay.
When you
Who's our pilot? Is it Aura?
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
cool. Awesome. So yeah, you're currently you are I think at this point you definitely Thane's like bye, and then there's like a dunk dunk dunk. Excuse me. We just hello, is there anyone here? This is Port Authority.
Oh goodness. We have like comms to one another, right?
Yeah, I think that's an assumption.
Great, cool. I'll get on the comms and be like, not quite so fast, Thane. Just a moment.
Yes, Dave. Can I get it? Okay, fine. I'll do the thing. Thane walks down to the bridge. Or to the
drawbridge.
The drawbridge.
Yeah.
It's a weird bioship. It absolutely has a drawbridge.
There's a moat with sharks if you squint hard enough.
Yeah, and like a tower with a princess in it. It's amazing.
Arv refuses to partake in this fantasy and reminds everyone that it's a docking bridge.
Yeah,
docking draw is the same.
Or if I let's say if I take a piece of paper and a pen and if I draw an image on the docking bridge, can I logically call it a drawbridge?
Yes.
Okay.
Do we have paper and pens in space?
Probably not.
I feel like paper and pens exist, but like, why would you use like in the same way that people like still have books because they're nice, right? Like you have to be rich to have books, because like everything else you just use like a data pad or something.
I like the idea of Thane like having a little pad of like post-it notes that are like really pointless.
That they use exclusively to generally be sarcastic about stuff.
I pull out a pen. Drawbridge. Slap it on the floor.
Meanwhile, the knocking is ongoing while we're having this discourse.
Port Authority, you're legally required to allow us entry into your vehicle.
All right, and then Thane puts on his pink coat, and slams the button.
Ren turns to her friend and is like, hiding would be good.
He's like, there's like a thing in here. I can't fit in this cupboard. It's like a dishwasher or something.
There's an entire ship. Work it out.
We have a smuggling department. Maybe direct them to the smuggling department.
Oh, we do. That's a great idea. I'll like open that up. Do we have like a hatch in the floor? Is that the situation?
I think we have
let me check because I want to see. Do you have the thing that lets you smuggle people in the smuggling compartment?
Probably not.
He's like,
I think
the
point is we have everything. We just haven't found everything yet.
Oh yeah. You have. The question is, have you found the thing where you can put a person in it? Because I don't think you have.
It says we need 3+ hull rating. It has life support.
Right, cool. Yeah. So at the moment he's like, I'm getting in here, but if you take off and I die from space, I'm not paying you the 3 cred.
I'll fucking haunt you.
Ren goes, good deal.
Yeah,
and then shuts the
he
thing.
climbs in and he's like, it's cold in here.
Huge eye roll, and Ren just stamps her big combat booted foot down on the lid and shuts this thing.
Yep, sounds good. Yeah. These two so when you open the thing, or even if you look on the thing, there's these two gentlemen standing in very finely fitting suits with on their chin they have like a small implant of some kind, and today they have a lanyard around their neck that says Port Authority. Awesome. It's a very good disguise.
Okay.
We all know the power of lanyards from last time.
We still have those lanyards, actually.
You do have lanyards saying that you are an emergency rescue team.
Right. Cool. I want to grab one of those out of one of my military pockets, pockets of my coat. I just kind of grab these out and just hand one over to Thane,
Here's the thing, make it work.
Here's a MacGuffin.
Here's one we prepared earlier.
You two fine space creatures of the universe, how are you doing this 7th evening?
Fine.
Are you opening the door, or are you talking to them through the comm?
I opened the door.
Okay, yeah, cool. Right. So yeah, they're like, we are doing well. Bit frustrated because things are going very slowly today. Now I have been informed that an individual an individual with a wanted rating has been noted around this area, and it looks like your ship is the only one that is really capable of doing of storing people at the moment. Most of these are automated. I was wondering if we could have a quick look around, just a squares,
Yeah, about that.
Ask him for a warrant, whispers the servo skull.
But does the skull have a volume setting, or is it just?
Ask them for a warrant.
No, it's Tin Can whispering into their communicator.
Okay.
So Thane takes the badge and goes, so we would totally love to oblige, but we are an emergency response team and we have somewhere to be. You know, we should have left 5 minutes ago, honestly. And I know that you're looking for a suspicious wanted criminal something, but this is a biomechanical ship, and it only lets on me and my crew. We couldn't even bring somebody on if we wanted to. You know, like, it's amazing to me that you're even standing where you are. Like, you must be good people.
They're like I do, and they're like, morality has nothing to do with it. So actually, let's roll the sway at this point, because I would like to know. I mean, sorry, let's roll the action. You get to choose what action you're doing. Because...
Can I also point out that when our heat is 4 or less, we get +1 to deceive people?
Yes, you do. We do just look like, yep. I mean, if you're passing yourself off as ordinary citizens, not if you're passing yourself off as emergency response team.
Damn it. Well.
All right.
Our hubris.
Oh, my hubris.
Oh. Wait a second. I have an item that is forged documents.
Do you?
Yes.
Cool.
One of my scoundrel items is forged.
Yeah. Actually, that's a good point. Let's at this point work out what everyone's load is for this mission. So everyone pick heavy, medium, or light. I think it is. Is that what it is?
It's light, normal, or heavy.
Cool. Yeah, okay. So that is basically how much stuff you're carrying. We don't have to say what items we have until they come up, right? So like Thane can be like, I pulled my forged documents out, right? But if you've got heavy load, you can have more stuff. But people will be like, holy shit, that person's carrying a lot of stuff. They might be about to do a murder. Whereas like normal, you look like a regular scoundrel. Like you probably look armed or like, or you know,
legged.
And light is, light is going about normal business, being able to not have your gear get in the way, not be noticed at all for how much stuff you're carrying. What are people choosing as?
I am going with light because I have all my tools on me, in sarcastic quotation marks.
Mm-hmm.
And also I like carrying around a med kit.
Yep.
Orange is also light because they're a little bit stealthy.
Yep. DC and Evie?
In is light.
Yeah. It makes sense if you're trying to pass yourself off right now as not a criminal.
Yeah. What's the like? How often do we get to change this though?
At the start of each mission.
Right. Okay.
Each job.
So
you probably want to have someone who's not light, as far as.
Yeah, I feel like Ren doesn't really go light. I think that Ren is normal. She keeps a lot of stuff. She already looks pretty scary, so maybe.
Yeah.
It's not worth trying to look too innocent. It's a bit of a waste.
Cool. Awesome. So those documents, I will give you increased effect. So we'll go from like risky, because I reckon this was risky standard, and I think the documents kind of push you up to risky great. Right? If you win this roll, they can't touch you. You have documents that show that you are a fucking emergency vehicle that needs to leave. If you don't, then that's the problem. But
do it.
Let's do it.
I just noticed that he's wearing a blue sun shirt.
Oh yeah.
Oh
This
yeah.
is a few weeks, so I'm gonna wear this baby every time.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Cool. All right. So, I really wish I had a quick reference sheet. So I reckon that's. So yeah, you're gonna do it. I'm just trying to work out what the cost is. What's the complication? Oh, they're gonna be like, they're gonna ask you like where you're going, right? And they're gonna like check up on that.
Another ship has crashed into another building.
We've got to go. No, you know what? I'm gonna tell the truth and then let the cards fall. What's it called?
Nightfall.
Nightfall.
Yeah.
It's
It's in the Breck system. It's a whole. It's like being like, oh yeah, we're going to this emergency in another country.
We're carrying a politician's heart. Like we're doing it. It's a organ delivery service.
Can we be honest and say like we're going to the Breck system, but not specifically where? Maybe
It's the going into a different system that sounds weird to me as an emergency vehicle. Because that's like can be up to weeks depending on the depending on your ship and things. Mm-hmm.
We're going to the Breck system because they're having a major emergency and they are running low on emergency vehicles, and so they sent out a call to neighboring systems to ask for anyone who could assist.
Mm-hmm.
So we just finished a job. Stunningly, they personally asked for us to show up.
Cool, awesome. So they are going to basically, like note down your ship's call sign, and that will be chased up.
Yeah, it's the blue Rhapsody. Once you see it, really hard to not see it again. You know what I'm saying?
They're like, it is a very memorable ship. I've never seen one in. And they're like, I thought initially that it was. Sorry, you're very busy. We'll let you go.
Have a nice one.
Cool, awesome. Yeah.
And when they turn around, but the police.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Yeah, so they will leave you alone. And yeah, we get the shot of the fingers going up as the docking bridge closes. Yeah, cool. What's the plan, team?
Cheese it.
Just from under the floor we hear, are they gone? It's really cold down here.
I open up the hatch and I say, if they weren't gone, that would have been a little bit of a pain in the ass, you know? So shut up next time.
He's like, I can't feel my butt.
How upsetting for you. Ren reaches an arm down and helps to pull him up as we all kind of get into our spots to head off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
spaceship.
Cool. Yeah, so we get this shot of you, of y'all requesting leaving permissions, which you have, and then we see you, we see the Rhapsody, launch thrusters, power up through Atmo, and then we get this beautiful shot of the Rhapsody soaring up through the atmosphere of Indri, and it just going from that thick pea soup smog into thinner and thinner until it's wispy clouds, and then you're in then you're in clear outer atmosphere where it's all light gases and stuff. So we have the trails behind the ship as you leave Atmo and enter the black. Cool.
Space.
Yeah. we see Iota. So we see like in the distance, we see the like two revolving suns of Iota. There's like a larger sun and a smaller sun, and they orbit each other in a binary star system. We see the like Indri is like smack bang between two asteroid belts, and so we see you like go past a bunch of asteroids and like all of the like mining gear that take stuff down to Indri for all of the like industry here. And so and like, you know, we're seeing you like moving through like the trucker lanes almost of like you know, like there's like it's like the space equivalent of seeing like dump trucks and like road trains and stuff coming and going from Indri as you make your way out. And yeah, we drift across. Does anyone do anything as we drift? Like, is there anything anyone wants to do as we're like drifting towards the jump gate? Because there's so the way that travel between systems works in or travel in space in general works is that there are in space there's these kind of like almost the way creates these weird spaces where ship drives seem to work better, almost like there's like space wind. And so like so the reason that we're seeing you along with all of these other trucks and heavy vehicles and things is that you're all catching the same ley line basically. Some of them out from Iota, some in. And so yeah, like y'all are in the same the same ley line as all of the other industrial things heading towards the brick jump gate. And when you get there, there'll be like a queue, because everyone needs to be like get their papers checked, check that they're not you know, there will be customs that will do like a ship scan, and you'll often have trouble with customs at these jump gates because they're like, what the fuck is your ship? Right? They're like, because they'll do a thing where they'll scan for the number of life forms and compare it to your paperwork, and what keeps happening is it shows up an extra life form even when you don't have a fugitive on board, right? Like it's like extra life form, it's huge, as big as the ship it seems, and they're like, what the? So this is the thing that y'all are constantly having to deal with. This is the reason that you hang out in like you've tended to hang out in a single system rather than jumping gates too often, because that paperwork is a fucking hassle. It's that thing where like if you've got like dual citizenship and like there's some weird thing every time you go through customs, they're like, what's this with your weird passport or whatever, right? Every single time. And so like it's not in the past been worth jumping like too often, but you're familiar with the procedure.
We have fake transponders. Can I use that to adjust their scan to leave us alone?
Let's have a look at the description for fake transponders, because I want to just double check that. Because that might actually be a really helpful thing. Upgrades. Ship upgrades. Or are they specifically comms modules? Fake transponders broadcast a different ship's signal or plays a powerful recording or sensor echoes, or acts as a beacon usable remotely. So yeah, you can broadcast a different ship's signal. I think the concern there is if they're in visual range, that's not going to make a difference, right? Like if they're up close and scanning you.
So once we get there.
But like if someone's you know. Like if any of these other, if like someone's out of visual range and they're scanning you from a distance, you could be like, "Oh yeah, we're a school bus, right?" Okay. But if you're up close and personal, they're gonna see what you are.
I wanted to use the transponders to fiddle with their scan, so that their computer tells them what we want them to see.
Yeah. Cool. So do we want to jump forward to like the to the gate? Will we like montage the couple of days like,
unless you like rolling for random space bandits.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's needed at the moment. It's really interesting. This game doesn't have a specific system for space travel because it's not considered like part of the actual like mechanism thing. The thing that it does systematize is, you know, if you roll something, pull like if I've got entanglements that I want to drop on you, I could drop it on you during space, or things could just go wrong, right? I can always just be like, as a GM, I can be like, the next fun part of the story is when. So, but space bandits are not a thing currently. That you're on the main way between Indri and the gate, right? Like, if space bandits are going to hit something, they're going to hit the truck full of gold, right? It's just that makes a lot more sense. But yeah, we rock up to the gate, and it's this huge. If you've seen the cover of the book, they're these huge rings, kind of like stargates, but actually like hovering in space. If you've seen Cowboy Bebop, you'll be kind of familiar with that as well. And I think there are similar things in like EVE Online as well. So there's this huge, like gate, and what it does is it hooks up to like these winds. These gates supposedly create like a hyper dense version of that, of the ley lines between systems and things. The guild that runs them understand them pretty well, but like we don't know how to make them. They were just here when we got to the system, right? Like, the reason that humans are the most prevalent species in the galaxy is because they are the same vague size, body shape, etc. as whoever came before and had all this cool tech that we don't know how to make. So yeah, it's this huge, like, arcane looking thing. It's got it looks like some kind of Doctor Who rune hovering in space with and you can see the like in the center of it there's this like haze where the space is all like looking through it, space is all wobbly like looking through a mirage, because because of that densification of the way the ley lines, and I think we see like a shot of like one of these trucks that are these space trucks that like I think like a lot of them are actually too big to land on a planet, right? Like they 100% send down smaller things back up and down from planets. And we see this one like where like they're doing a thing to like double the truck has got like has been like they've packed an extra thing on top of it to hold more of whatever the cargo is. And we see it getting like this argument, or rather, like we see like the gate authority, like come and take the bit off the top because you're going to hit the top of the gate, you dickhead, and like put it to the side, presumably to be collected later. And then we see this huge truck that is like. Because the gate's got to be like hundreds of meters across, right? And so we see this huge truck like slowly, chug towards the thing, and then just suddenly as it goes through the thing, it spaghettifies out the other side, and then it is just gone. And then like after a second, we hear this sound in space of like a ripping like sort of like whooshing sound. As like whatever gases that had been around the thing kind of get blown back, and it creates a temporary like burst of sound in space. And yeah, you pull up into the lane. There's 3 lanes here, one for commercial shipping, one for like everyday civilian travel, and then there's an express lane that currently has like 1 vehicle in it, which is like sleek ambassadorial vehicle or something like that.
Can we be express because we're an emergency vehicle?
Ooh, cool. That sounds like That sounds like it needs a roll. I think if we're gonna like be using our fake transponders to override everything and to like be like, we are an emergency vehicle. Do not look at how many life forms we have, right? Like,
Can we call on our new hacker friend to help?
Oh yeah, definitely. That sounds like a good idea.
Year zero hacker, let's go.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Because that I also have 0 hacks, so
Yeah, so let's or what does that conversation look like, right? Like you get the message from Draxboy Draxboy 46. And yeah, you get like the J0, right?
Yeah, I kind of give the task to my Urbot, to
Mhm.
my fine small Urbot, which I trust enough to handle menial like human conversations or like other humanoid conversations that that Arj is really bad at. And
I mean,
basically,
like if you do that, like Draxboy is gonna be like, yo, I'm not talking to no bot. I want to talk to that elite mofo that I got assigned to. Where is Araj? Right? Like,
okay, so the Urbot's like beeping at me, and so I kind of like put the ship in like kind of just drift autopilot, I guess, and
I mean, yeah,
step away from the console, kind of like this is like not the most fun for Arj. But kind of awkwardly walk across to another console on the bridge, and it's just like, look, I know that we don't know each other very well, but let's just say that I'll owe you if you give us a hand here. We need to get through. We need to get through and through the express lane at what's the gate called? Sorry.
This is the Iota Breck.
The Iota Breck gate. It's much more concise than that because it's in text.
Yeah.
There's no words in it.
Yeah, and it's definitely a thing where Draxboy is like yo, I can get you that booking. Don't you worry about it. But you tell me, but I want to know what you're carrying.
send them a picture, Instagram of the lanyard. Like
Instagram.
it's topical now. I'm hip with it.
That's what all the hip young kids are into.
Yeah, he just wants to know like why it's so important.
So we're just gonna send him a picture of the lanyard, like the emergency services lanyard, I guess.
Sure, he's like, y'all, are you actually an emergency service, or are you just pretending? I mean, you're obviously just pretending. You need me to hack it. That's cool. All right. Cool. I mean, yeah. So someone's gonna get. Someone's gonna get. What does an asset give you as far as blah, 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 blah. Okay, so he's going to give you increased effect from limited to standard for booking this thing, and it sounds like you've got you're using your fake transponders, which could push you up to great as well. So if you want to put yourself in that position, but someone's going to need to make a hack roll.
Okay.
Is that Cammy or is that Araj?
Yeah. I don't have hack either yet, so.
Oh, I thought you trained in.
I've got experience on my way there. I just haven't gained it yet.
Yeah.
I've got 1 in hack. I don't know why I decided that would be a good idea.
You are military hacker. Go.
I do have hacking tools. How do items work?
Yeah, items usually boost up your either reduce your risk or increase your effect. most of the time.
Okay, which we've already done to as best as it can be.
Well,
I
you could
guess.
reduce your effect. You could reduce your like risk, right? You're currently at you're currently at desperate because probably at risky. You could make this controlled with your if you're going to mark fine hacking tools.
Okay, let's do that.
Yep.
Yep. We'll use my pilot's hacking tools.
Yep. Sounds good.
Okay,
so
cool.
mark 1. So
So I guess
you're on
I'm
light.
doing
So you've used 2 out of your 3. You've marked 2 out of your 3 items. I think. Does that-
yeah,
Hacking
just
tools
one.
is
Just
one.
one. My bot doesn't count. It's in italics.
Oh, neat. Cool. Awesome. So does that mean it sounds to me like someone is helping someone. Who's doing the role and who's spending stress to help? That is what it sounds like to me.
I think probably I should do the role because I think
I
that
think-
makes more sense with the story because I'm the
Yep.
contact for the hacker. So
Yep, sounds good.
I do too. I think you're probably getting a lot from this other person that's like, then type in this, now copy and paste this other thing over there. And so I'm assisting with you telling me, now press that button and hold that one down and press those other 2, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
so it's controlled.
Yep.
And great, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, controlled great, which is a hell of a position to find yourself in.
Yeah. And did we have any bonus dice? Was that the
If someone's helping, they spend a stress and you get a bonus dice from it. You can also spend 2 stress to push yourself, or if you want to ask for a devil's bargain, you can. If anyone has any suggested devil's bargains, you can take that instead of pushing yourself for a bonus dice.
Okay, well, I don't have anything in hack, so I don't know if someone wants to help, and then that would lower our risk a little bit, I guess.
I think Eve was saying that she was going to help, so
Yeah,
then
so
you
Yeah.
get 1 dice rather than 2
Yeah.
take the lowest.
Yeah, so I've just taken a stress to assist.
Yep.
Damn, that was a bad roll.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, cool. On the plus side, you're controlled. So let me find the reference because controlled means that like the possible things I can throw at you for failure when it's controlled are a lot less. Effect. Where am I? Consequences and harm. So for controlled, you can. So the thing you're doing, the way that you're hacking it, I think isn't working. You right? Like you're like, I think, because what you've got as like possible outcomes is like you can either push on with your current thing of hacking and try again, but at risky. Because I think because what you're going to have to do is override the like direct is like this thing will need a specific person to authorize it. So you can push on and take it to risky, if you're gonna like try and hack it so that it's like, oh yes, no, they did totally authorize this, or you can try a different approach. But but Gate Officer Charal will have to authorize, like with the current hack you've done, it will need to be authorized by Gate Officer Charal, right? You've got all the paperwork. It says you are an emergency vehicle, but it does need to be stamped by someone.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a kind of a couple of you get that thing. You do the things, and then it comes up with emergency application submitted, awaiting approval by officer on duty.
So here's a question. Could I then, as the pilot, potentially try and convince this officer over comms
Yep.
rather than try and hack again?
Yeah, 100%. That's
I kind of
backing
like the
out
idea
and trying a
first.
different. So that's called trying a different approach at the same thing. So then you'd still be controlled. You'd still be great effect, but you'd be trying a different role.
Yeah, I think Aura's like scuttles over the bridge in their little teenage pressure suit, plunks back down in their pilot seat and kind of spins around and like grabs the the mic and pulls it out of the desk and starts yammering away about how it's just so important and just we're in such a rush and it would just be so great if you could just help us out. I don't know if you're having a good day or anything, but this would really make our day if you could just do this for us as quick as possible.
Okay, so what action do you think you're doing? Because to me that sounds like because if you're being like, no, you have to do this, I think that sounds like command. But it sounds like if you're being like, it'll be really helpful, that sounds more like sway. But it's up to you what you're choosing.
I think sway. I think it's kind of like they're kind of trying. They've read recently about this technique of pleading and being sweet and trying to make someone's day just by being nice.
not just like exuding pheromones into the air like you would normal people do.
Yeah.
That
exactly.
rare technique of just being nice.
Yeah.
Beings like to help other beings.
Yeah.
So I think are trying this out.
Cool. All right. Yeah. So I think this is still controlled. Because you're still not in visual range, right? Like you're gonna pull up and they're gonna enter the express lane and then they're gonna be like, wait a minute, and you're gonna be like, bye. But yeah, so it's still controlled, still great because you've still got all the correct paperwork according to the computer.
Great. Okay, fingers crossed. Please roll better. Okay.
That is a do the thing. Good job. Let me have a look at. Oh, yeah, no, cool, excellent. Let's. Nice. You're gonna take some extra heat. From the moment when they're like, wait a minute, right? So yeah, you
kind of like speed away.
I mean, here's the thing. Yeah, you pull up in the express lane behind this like it's kind of like a black limo spaceship, right? It's this like sleek surfboard like thing. With like where like when it's parked the thrusters go back inside it like pop-up headlights so that it just looks like a black surfboard in space. And you kind of notice it by the lack of stars more than anything else and like reflections around it. It technically gets to go before you. You will have to wait in the line for like a couple of minutes and then people will have a visual on you. What do you do? Do you want to just
I think we're just gonna gun it. I think that this is where Arovj pulls out their frickin' hot as shit pilot skills and snaps around the limo and just gets the fuck out of there.
That sounds like okay. All right, cool. What skill are you using for this?
Helm.
Sounds like it, yeah.
That's incredible.
This sounds... I mean, it's not desperate because you did so well with your paperwork. You're in the express lane. It's risky. It's definitely risky. And I can't give you less than standard because what's the least that's going to happen? You're going to not make it into the gate, so it's risky standard.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah. Do you want to do anything on the dice, or do you want to just?
I think we're good.
All right.
I think we're good. I have confidence in Arovj's pilot skills.
Okay.
My favorite thing about this is that we're actually not really in a rush, but we're all just so reckless.
Well, it's because you're not in a rush, but you don't want to be seen, right? That's the thing.
Arovj just wants to do so good at their job. They have one job.
I love it. I love them.
Well, my solution was going to be rig some lights really quick to go wee woo wee woo.
I mean, you got a 4, so
That's good helm.
Oh dear. I mean, you're going to duck around another vehicle at high speed and then go through a jump gate, not quite straight. Oh dear.
Like a boss.
Yeah,
We're
cool.
just drifting into a jump gate. So we spaghettify sideways.
Yeah, we're gonna skid through sideways. It's fine.
Drift into a fucking jump gate. Oh man, we 100% just see you drift into the jump gate, and we just see like an antenna on the top of the ship just go tunk as it like clips the side of it. And I'm gonna say that your comms takes the damage. So you're yeah. That's what it is. Comms are damaged. But then everyone
Not much
feels that like. Everyone feels that like horrible sickening feeling as you jump up to light speed, or rather space stops being as wide, or whatever it is that when you go through a jump gate and you get like all whoa, and you're. I think that's a good place to take a quick break, and we can come back in after having done whatever that was.
You know what I'm gonna do on this break? I'm gonna get your back in 7
Oh my god! I'm so excited. All right, we'll be back in a minute. We'll get ready for DC's amazing hair show.